I know that I've been trying to say that I want to make you laugh more, but some things just aren't funny. I mean, we're going to find a way to laugh about all of this clowning around, but stuff seems to be just getting worse every day. And I'm not trying to make you miserable. I am going to try to make you laugh a little bit later because it's funny to laugh at this. You have to laugh or you're just going to get depressed. Today, I want to talk about Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is in the news right now because the College of Psychiatrists or the College of Psychologists are pursuing him and trying to make him attend re-education camp for his social media posts. They're trying to make him go through some sort of draconian re-education program through the college to train him on to use social media. They allege that his social media posts are causing unnamed random people harm based on like 12 complaints from international people from in Canada and around the world who say that somebody who their nieces, uncles, aunts, grandpas, grandmas, grandson's third distant cousin's best friend said that Jordan Peterson's offensive Facebook post or something caused them irreparable psychological harm. It's all a bunch of chicanery. It's all a bunch of nonsense. And let's get into it. Jordan Peterson, wow, just so the Ontario College of Psychologists, CP Ontario, has demanded that I submit myself to mandatory social media communication retraining with their experts for, among other crimes, retweeting Pierre Poilievre and criticizing Justin Trudeau and his political allies. I have been accused of harming people, although none of the complainants involved in the current action were clients of mine, past or present, or were even acquainted with any of my clients. I am to take a course of such training with reports documenting my progress or face an in-person tribunal and suspension of my rights to operate as a licensed clinical psychologist. They've been after this guy for a long time. Anyone who spreads truth, especially someone who gets as popular, who is as well-spoken as Jordan Peterson, they are after with the daggers out. They want to silence them, delegitimize them, do anything they can to get them out of the mainstream, to stop hurting their narratives. And looks like they're finally taking their opportunity to take a swing at Peterson. Now, I think Peterson shouldn't even humor this communist commission. He should move his license to the free state of Florida and go and practice over there, or just keep doing what he's doing and spreading truth. He's very powerful as an online presence. And they can't take that away from him, especially Twitter gave him back a voice now with Elon Musk. Elon Musk actually commented on this thread. About a dozen people from all over the world submitted complaints about my public statements on Twitter and Rogan over a 4-year period out of the 15 million who follow me on social media, claiming that I had harmed people, not even the people who are complaining, not them. They harmed their grandsons, nephews, 6 cousins, best friends, dog walker was offended by something Peterson may or may not have said. So he needs to go retrain how to use social media and be a good little boy and walk in the line and not speak out of turn with my views. I said, move your license to the free state of Florida. These jokers aren't worth your time or energy. Certainly they're not. Elon Musk, exclamation marks. Communism has arrived in Canada. Your American friends are watching Canada. Shadow Davis says, Jordan, all due respect, you could never be publicly disgraced or humiliated by these clowns. Certainly not. They are so far below him. With this action, they have further delegitimized themselves, and going forward, they are the ones who will ultimately pay. We are with you 100%. Canada is a fascist state. Hard to think otherwise when any dissenting voice is being thrown to the wind like this and being hunted almost by these licensing boards. Oh, you got to go attend retraining or we're going to get rid of you. You're a problem. Man, 1984. Get out of this country. All right, you got weirdos like this guy here. It seems like 1984 just wrote you a letter. The CP Ontario should be dismantled and every individual personally sued. They're certainly after people with different opinions. These licensing boards have become instruments of tyranny. That's exactly it. That's what they did during everything. And they're still using these as blunt force tools to get rid of people. Re-education center. Nonsense. So let's see why they're after Jordan Peterson. So Jordan Peterson said this just around Christmas, right after Boxing Day, the 27th. I learned to watch for people's psychological age during my years doing intensive clinical work. Justin Trudeau appears to me to be perpetually 14 years old. That's not true. We've already seen this interview. But he's been at this for a while. Yeah, he's narcissistic as hell, Justin. Conrad Black, a moral imperative for Trudeau Liberals to resign via the National Post, posted the day Christmas Eve. No moral rule is imperative for uber narcissists to last. Exactly. They're not going to listen. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing, harming everybody else. But if you call them out, you're going to be dragged before your licensing board, and you're going to have to attend re-education training, or else they're going to take away your livelihood, your right to practice, drag your name through the mud. Never mind the tens of thousands of people you've helped through your career. Mess that all up. You're against our agenda. You're against our politics. You think differently than us. You cannot practice in Ontario. We're taking your license away. Man. So let's lighten this up a bit, because this is getting upsetting. I'm upsetting myself. We need to quickly look at one more thing, why they're so after him. Look at this post from 10 months ago, The Catastrophe of Canada, with Jordan B. Peterson, special guest Rex Murphy, 127,000 likes. When's the last time anything political in Canada gets this kind of traction? Millions of views, hundreds of thousands of engagements. It's too much. They need to shut it down.
To the working people, the oilmen, the loggers, the fishermen, the farmers, the service people, the truckers. He is an anathema to them. And by the way, he's hurt the reputation and the historical legacy of the party he represents. And I'm not an NDPer, but I can respect and know what they did. And I admire them for that.
Even the Communist Party of Canada announced yesterday that they weren't in favor of the Emergencies Act, because they realized that that allows instantaneously for the demonization and the criminalization of anything like organized labor protests.
Yeah, of course.
And so obviously...
So Jordan Peterson talking from a hotel room can get 3 million views talking about Canadian politics, which doesn't have a very big dedicated audience. It's getting a bit bigger now, but he can do that. So he's an existential threat to the narrative, to the establishment. They've got to shut him down. And now they're taking this approach through the College of Psychologists to try and threaten him to do re-education, behave properly on social media. What about all the psychologists who are members of that college in Ontario who spread things under their professional names, under the progressive politics banner that would be, found outside the rules of the college? What about all those people? Just because they don't have notoriety or because they agree with the politics of the college, they get to be left alone. They get to continue to shout into their echo chambers and do that. Jordan Peterson thoughtfully engages about the issues of our time, and all of a sudden he's, a biggest threat to the democracy, to the practice of psychology, and he needs to be silenced. It's too much. So let's go back a few years. How did Jordan Peterson get so big? Well, you might remember protests at the University of Toronto a few years ago, where he was talking about pronouns. And, you got these counters that were there.
See, the opponents of free speech are capable of making a lot of inarticulate noise. Right. It's not my primary concern. What I'm going to talk about is freedom of speech, and I want to tell you a few things about freedom of speech.
It's this year. This was like 6 years ago or more, and he's talking about freedom of speech being under attack. Here we are 6 years down the Orwellian line on our train to tyranny, and all of this is being realized, coming true, and causing problems.
Okay, because I've been thinking about this it because of but also because...
So that's the counter protesters. They're blaring speakers, very mature of them. That's about their capability there. That's their intellectual capacity.
Nonsense. He's brilliant. For real. He's brilliant.
Okay, the reason I'm defending freedom of speech, and the reason for that is quite straight.
Childish. So that's discourse with these people. So when you get so effective that millions of people are watching your hotel room commentary on the state of Canada, and they can no longer shout you down, they need to use any other tool in their arsenal to come at you. And so they're using the College of Psychologists to attack Jordan Peterson. It's pathetic. Let's go really quick. You might recall this Channel 4 interview with Peterson.
You wouldn't follow
where
already
he gets
has
the words shoved down his throats, and he's just like, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. He's getting these words shoved into his mouth, and he's like, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. And this is a masterful interview if you've never
If
seen
they're
it.
academics,
irresponsible?
not at all. If an academic is going to come
Okay.
after me and tell me that I'm not qualified and that I don't know what I'm talking about,
So
like,
you're
it's
not going to say to
seriously
your
not the
followers
same.
now, quit.
Jordan Peterson is a treasure of our time.